Season 56, War number 6. Today we've matched up against Turk, and the bands are Ghost, Kushala, Onslaught, Werewolf, and Dust. My team today is going to be Purgatory, Arcade, and Dazzler. And we're going to start today on Path 1. I'm going to be taking 4 fights with Purgatory, 2 with Dazzler, 1 with Arcade, and we're going to start against this Jabari Panther on Node 1. So, the goal for this whole Jabari Panther fight is to ramp a skill soul. I fight 2 skills this war, first against Jabari and the other against Korg. I knew I would want to use Dazzler for one of the fights because there's just kind of no reason for me to use Purgatory for both of them, and I knew Purgatory would be viable for both. So I decided to go ahead and use Purgatory for the first skill instead of the second, which would have been the Korg, only because of the off chance that I somehow could not capture Korg's soul due to something stupid happening. Then I'd have multiple attempts at getting that. So that was a non-issue. We're going to capture this Jabari's soul pretty fine, but that was my reasoning for using Purgatory for this Jabari rather than Dazzler, even though I'd say that Korg would be the easier fight of the two for Purgatory to take. So she goes down. We messed up mainly because I was not spacing my sidestep intercepts correctly, I guess. So that was not the cleanest thing ever, but that's going to be a trend this war. So now I'm using Arcade for this Weapon X on Node 10. I didn't plan this war. I did notice that I was getting assigned Arcade for Weapon X on Node 10. Me and my person who planned this one both thought that this fight would be pretty easy because it's a rank 4 Arcade, and I use Arcade versus Weapon X all the time. So I completely was like, yeah, this shouldn't be a problem. I don't need a different tech attacker for this. Turns out that fighting an unblockable Weapon X with Arcade is almost impossible. So I can't get him in the corner because he's unblockable. He's stun immune, all that stuff. I just can't get him in the corner. So we're a minute in and he's taken like no damage. So at this point I'm like, oh, I'm gonna need to change something real fast or I'm gonna time out. So I come up with this playstyle. This playstyle is crazy. I've never used it before. I made it up on the spot. It's going to be, we are just going to spam our auto block via the heavy charge, which is going to do a couple things. It's going to place the shock, which is going to do decent damage, but it's also going to give me a steadfast. The steadfast is going to allow me to block Weapon X's unblockable attacks, and this Weapon X is unblockable virtually the whole fight. So we are going to keep doing this until we eventually get to a special 2. That's going to give me some more debuffs to do some more damage in red, because a big problem with this fight is just we can't control his healing with Despair. So I need to get poisons up, because poisons do reduce Weapon X's regeneration rate. That is the only way you can reduce it outside of just completely blocking it out. So I'm going to take a hit here, but because of the fact that I changed my playstyle to just this hyper auto block playstyle, it means that I'm not opting to use only basics to just try to get myself set up for a big special 2 or something. I'm limiting how many hits I'm throwing, which is also limiting how many charges Weapon X is getting, and I'm doing more damage in red than if I was using combos to try to get myself ready for a special 2. So we're just going to use our SP2s as ready and use heavy attacks in the middle to try to just continue to do damage in red while using as little basic hits as possible. And occasionally he is going to get poisoned, which is going to reduce his regen rate by a certain amount. So yeah, we went from doing no damage to being able to finish this fight off, which is pretty great. I'm going to mess up a little bit at the end, and I would never take this fight again. I would pretty much always use a different tech attacker, but lesson learned, I guess. So yeah, that was a 3-minute fight. I would not do that again. I'd find a different tech attacker to take it. But at least I know now. So, next up we're going to fight this Void on Node 25. I'm taking this fight with Dazzler. Dazzler, now that she's awakened, is going to reflect physical damage back to Void. So it's kind of just a Void that I don't really want to parry that much, which is, in theory, extremely easy, except I'm going to play this fight terribly. First, I'm going to go for a medium intercept, which I don't ever do because that stupid crap always happens every time I try. But for some reason, I try to do it there. And I pay for it, because that's why I don't do medium intercepts. And then I try to dex his special 1, mess it up somehow, because apparently I was too early on the dex, and then I'm going to get a bunch of debuffs on me, which is great. So my health is just getting ticked away. So is Void's. Like, we're not going incredibly slow. I didn't really mean to drop a special 2 before in special 1 in this fight. I don't know, man. I just kind of did. So he goes down, lost a good bit of my health, didn't die. So it's okay for now. Now we're gonna fight this Korg. This fight goes pretty well, if I remember correctly. Healing up Purgatory for the next fights, but gonna use Dazzler for this Korg here. Again, because I already got the skill soul with Purgatory, I was just checking to make sure as well. So I'd rather be using Dazzler for this fight if I can help it. Even though, again, Purgatory would be good for this. Dazzler is not going to need to be healed up if I do mess up for some reason. So if I messed up against Korg with Purgatory, I would need to use potions, but if I was playing Dazzler, then I wouldn't, because this is our last fight this war. So anyway, I'm going to go for a Dazzling Dash there, and we can just use our mediums as freely as we want because of the physical damage reflect. He's not really purifying anything. Either this is a low sig Korg, or I just wasn't placing a lot of fatigues on him when he had Rock Shield up, or both. That's just, I don't know, the fight went really nice and easy. So now we're going to do mini bosses. This is against Node 38 Thanos. This is the last fight this war that goes really, really, really well. Purgatory rips this fight apart. She kind of rips Thanos on like every node on the war map apart, unless it's like a hazard shift that she does not have one of the immunities for. But anyway, we have a skill soul. That's the only soul we have. It's the only soul we need to, though. As long as I can dex specials correctly, we'll be fine. Basically, if you don't know, Purgatory with the skill soul, when she's going to place an effect that the opponent is either immune to, purifies, or it just expires, she's going to place a passive slow. And slow kind of shuts down Thanos' big threat, because the thing that makes Thanos a really good defender is just the encroaching unstoppable he's going to get if you're playing extremely aggressive against him. And the slow allows us to play extremely aggressive against him while just completely bypassing that defensive threat. So that's really nice. Heavy knockdown, unblockable special 2. This is going to push him into his next... Never mind, I thought it was going to push him in his next protection phase, but we were 1% off. And then I'm going to get him in the next protection phase, and then just drop the special 2 into protection, which was not the smartest thing to do. But I noticed my Rampage was falling off. Intrusive Thoughts just told me to throw it before the Rampage fell off, and that was like not worth it at all, but who cares, we finished the fight well. Okay, now we have Node 40 Negasonic. Would not take this fight again. Should have also been a lot cleaner than it actually was. The reason this fight's going to go so bad is purely due to ignorance, because I did not process why Negasonic was on this node originally. I didn't think about the interaction she was going to have with Mixmaster, because any character that has a counterattack is going to utilize their counterattack for evade nodes, which is just something that did not pop into my head. So every time I accidentally trigger Mixmaster, which is going to happen twice in this fight, that's the second time, I'm just going to get comboed, and I'm losing a lot of health. In fact, if Purgatory didn't have 40% base energy resist, I would be dead with another character who has the same amount of health as her. So, yay Purgatory, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, now that I have the slow up, this fight's just beyond over. But yeah, that was so bad, man. That was so bad. Ignorance, man. I should have known why she was on that node. I should have known the threat ahead of me. Used a PS1 boost to get the slow up faster. Just stupid mistake on my part. So, alright, last fight of the war. Rank 4 Serpent on 46. Soloed this fight twice before already. So yeah, now we're gonna fight him again. We only have the mutant and skill and... Okay, we have the mutant skill and cosmic soul. I shouldn't say only, because that's literally more than half of the soul she can get. We have Mutant, Skill, and Cosmic. The only soul you really want to have for this fight is the Mutant one, and I've also seen it been taken without the Mutant one, so I know it's not 100% necessary. It's just something that I would like to have every single time if I can help it, and I do have it, so yeah, we are set up for success here. The Mystic one would also be really helpful. Tech one would be more damage. Like, you want as many souls as possible, but the only one that I think is necessary is Mutant, and I've still seen it taken without Mutant Soul, is just something that I would like to have when I'm taking it myself. So, I don't really know why I'm just dropping Special 2s out of nowhere with no Rampage. I really should just be getting myself in Rampage, and then I'm going to go for a self-power drain after, and then go for an SP2. I don't know why I did that, but it's not that big a deal, I guess. It's just going to make the fight last a little longer. Now I'm in Rampage, I'm going to go for the Special 3, get myself another power gain, and hopefully we can just kind of get into really nice control of the fight, and get him set up for death immunity, and then just prepare for the death immunity, right? I honestly thought I was going to get hit by that Special 1. I did not get hit by that Special 1, but I kind of thought I would. So that's nice. Now we're going to go for another Special 2. Fear is active, so the next one's not going to be unblockable, but at least we got that correct. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and push him into death immunity. First mistake, using a relic there. I should not have used a relic there. That was stupid. I need to save relic for death immunity. And then, I make the biggest blunder that I might have ever done in War. I drop a Special 1 for literally no reason. No reason whatsoever for dropping the Special 1. It goes into his block, I lose my invul boost, he drops a Special 3. I don't know why I did that. Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever done in War, and I just don't know why I did it. I just did it. I don't have a reason for it. I don't know why my brain told me to drop the Special 1. I just did. So I threw away my Deathless season because of the stupidest mistake I've ever made. Because I had the invul boost. All I had to do was let him throw an SP3, let it hit me. I'd have staggered the power gain after because of the relic. All I had to do was not do the dumbest mistake ever and drop an SP1 into his block. So, yeah, I just threw my Deathless season into the garbage. We did lose the war. I don't have a screenshot of it. We lost, I think, 13-16. So it wasn't entirely my fault, but I'm still taking a massive blame for that, because I complain all the time about people doing stupid stuff in War, and I just made maybe the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So I don't know, whatever. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.